Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today, and this one is something really unique. I don't know how I would phrase it exactly. It's kind of like a half-breed rebind. I don't even know how to explain it. It's weird. It's a unique and different Bible that has some oddities to it, and I don't think this is how it was produced from the factory from the get-go. But it is what it is now. So we're going to take a look at it. This box does not go with this Bible. It's just one that I think I had an extra or something. I don't remember. Somebody shipped it. Somebody shipped a Bible that definitely wasn't anywhere near this in this box. And I just kind of took this box and applied it to this Bible only because this box is closer to this Bible than the other Bible was that was in this box, if that's not confusing. But we can see here that it's just a blue box, kind of standard for Collins. It is a Collins Breviary edition. I don't know if the item number is correct. That would have been the item number for this original item that was in here. And it does not seem to be the same because this one says it is a French Morocco leather. And this edition is not a French Morocco, it's a genuine leather. So I don't think that it's the same, but certainly if you feel like using that item number to look up maybe a French Morocco edition of this Bible, you might be well served. On the inside, it's just, or I guess it's just a two-piece box on the inside. Nothing fancy to write home about. So we'll go ahead and set that to the side. And here's the edition. Now, this is where it starts to get weird. Like, obviously, so for Collins Bibles of this era, I put it at a 1957 because I think that's what the inside print edition or information says. But for this era, it would have been, just a black leather Bible with gold edges. And that is not the case for this one, weirdly. So definitely something unique, very unique. So on the front here, we have Holy Bible, and we have this wonderful grain. Again, I don't know if this is pressed. It does look like these are some natural kind of folds and striations in the leather. So if I had to guess, I'd probably say no, it was not pressed. This is probably a natural grain. You can see the inner perimeter, or the perimeter line there, not the inner perimeter line, but just the perimeter line on the edge there. On the spine, we have Holy Bible, Concordance, and Collins. You can kind of see what makes it so special. It's not a gold, it's a silver. So this would be, I guess, the equivalent of like a silver line nowadays. So definitely unique, especially if you like silver instead of gold. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of hub indications there. They're not raised. They're pressed in more than anything. And they are slightly burnished there, but it does give it a kind of a neat look against the silver and black contrast there. On the back, we have the continuation of that great grain. It is a very kind of tactile grain. It is very grippy. I don't have any problems holding on to this. And there you go. I gave it away. So definitely it's like a silver line. It doesn't have any gold. You see that wonderful silver gilt there, silver gilt edge. That's super neat. There is a white head and tail band, and then we do have purple ribbons. And I think I added these ribbons. What does it say? Single-sided, double-sided? I might have added the ribbon, maybe. And you'll see why in a second. Nice, wonderful silver gilt there. And then you can see the book is ever so slightly concaved, just a little bit. That silver on the bottom. And you can see it's stamped there, genuine leather. I'll take a look at that more in a sec, but it's a nice plum-colored ribbon, double-sided satin, 3/8" ribbon. We'll open it up. You can see this is what makes it so weird. So definitely, I'm not sure what happened here. I'm not sure if the Bible maybe started falling apart and somebody just took it upon themselves to repair. I'm not sure if they pieced this together from a few different editions or what the case may be. But it definitely has some uniqueness to it. Go ahead and look at the corner work real quick. That is not the important part on this one, or the interesting part, I should say. We have this kind of purple also to match the ribbon, kind of silk Moire paper. I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but it's super cool. I love the way this silk Moire paper looks. I hope the camera's picking it up, but it's got like a very heavy texture to it, and it kind of has like a little optical illusion that it plays in your eyes. The way the light kind of dances off it gives it a neat pattern. I love silk Moire paper. I think it's one of the nicest things you can put in a Bible. On the flip side, it has, I don't even know what you would say this is. It's a brown something. It's not like a paper. It almost has like I don't even know, maybe like a spongy or like a fake kind of suede feel. It's just a very weird material. It feels very weird. But it's like a bronzy brown. It kind of has like a little shimmer to it, but it's just kind of like a middle of the road brown. On the back we have the same, that silk Moire paper. And then we have that weird brown material, whatever it is. And then again, it's stamped with genuine leather on the bottom, and I'll show you the corner work for whatever it's worth. But yeah, that's kind of the neat portions of this edition, right? It's unique. I've never seen a World Bible like this, or sorry, not a Collins Bible like this before. It's very unique in its presentation. And this is one I just purchased on eBay, and I think they only had a couple pictures of it. They didn't even show the inside of this. So when I went to open, I'm like, oh, that's unique. That's different. So just pretty different there. Let's go ahead and get into it. We'll take a look and see if the inside is any different. Probably not, but we'll just take a look. So we have our in sheets there. And it appears at some point somebody tried to write maybe the books of the Bible. I can't really tell. It looks like they have Matthew through John and then 89. Again, I can't read it, only something or other. I'm not too sure. So on the title page, though, we have our standard fare for Collins Bibles. We can see it as a new Breviary edition. It's 16 MO, so it's a smaller size. It does have references, and it is on India paper. So it'll have some nice quality paper there. On the licensing page, the copyright page on the back, you can see all the information. If you guys want to pause it and read it, it'll tell you more specifics about it if my camera will focus. There we go. And then printed in Great Britain at the bottom there. We have our epistle dedicatory. And our table of contents. Table of signs used in this book. And the first book of Moses is called Genesis. Let's take a look. It doesn't appear to be as opaque as what we've seen in the past. It is still very nice, but definitely not as opaque as what we've seen in the past. Let's get a couple pages into it. Yeah, there we go. So the features we have, the book and the ending chapter number on the top corners, outer corners. And we have kind of a running header across the top. We have our page numbers in the bottom center. It is a double column verse by verse, and there are Pilcrow markers indicating paragraphs. Right there's one example. We do have our center column references here, indicated for chapter 5, and then you go halfway down and there's a little slash in chapter 6. And we have a double line drop cap. We have our chapter indicator there kind of spanning it. We also have a counter counting off the books of the chapters in the Bible. So if we get to Revelation 22, it should be 1189. So it kind of counts off each chapter as you're reading it throughout the Bible. And you have a little kind of a subject header here at the beginning of the chapter, which is neat. So lots of information to help you out, certainly, as you're reading. Let's go ahead and flip through. And we'll get to Psalm 119. It's a very nice edition. Very nice. For center column reference, excellent. Nice and floppy, too. I just kind of realized that when I picked it up. It's very floppy. Very nice. Nicely done. Well broken in. Then we have our little Hebrew characters there, indicate at least the names, not the actual Hebrew characters itself, just the names, the transliterated names. We'll take a look at the paper. It is very nice. You can see just a little bit of show through. Not the best from what we've seen, again, from Oxford India paper, or from India paper in general. This is Collins on Oxford, but still very, very well done, especially given the overall size is still a very trim edition. You can see the text does go into the gutter a little bit. That was kind of standard fare for this era. It's very rare that you see a text that has a little bit of room to breathe here in the gutter. More often than not, it's way down in the gutter, and you have to like really pull the Bible to be able to read. I've had some too that are so bad in the gutter that it's just you can't read it. So you're missing like the first letter of each line, which is sad. I feel like that should have been prevented at the very least. I'm okay with like kind of turning the page a little bit, but once it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. You can't read it if it's not there, if it's not visible. Let's go ahead and get to the end of the end of the Old Testament. You can see they are economizing here, so they're not giving the end of the book its own kind of page, and then beginning on the next page, they just start the next book on the end of the previous. So we have the end of the Old Testament, the New Testament of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. New Testament title page there. We'll flip through. Gospel according to St. Matthew. We can see it as a black letter text. So no craziness going on there with Collins' pink letters. So this is just such a unique edition, right? You have black letter text, so the red isn't competing with any of the purple. You have the nice purple accents. You know, if I really don't know, because this is just nicely chosen colorations, but I think that this would have all been after the fact. It was probably, if I had to guess, probably just black all around, like a kind of a standard silver line from the get-go, but that's certainly a neat upgrade. Let's go ahead and get to the end. And there's the end of the Old Testament, or New Testament, excuse me. Then we have our index and concordance. I'll show you guys some entries in that. The one thing I think that adds to the floppiness of this is, you know, typically these editions, They just have a paste down kind of cardboard or like a thick sheet of paper here, and it does make it very stiff. So when you kind of put in this synthetic material, if it's much softer, you get a feel for like how soft the original kind of genuine leather was, and it's very soft. By comparison, you can certainly tell picking it up versus kind of a standard genuine leather edition that are much stiffer. Goodness, in some cases very stiff. So there's the index and concordance going and going and going. It's quite lengthy. I think that's the majority of what's back here. Aside from a bunch of maps, apparently. So there's the index and concordance. It spans 248 pages, it looks like. Then we have our index to the maps. Quite a lot of entries, which is good. Getting a little fussy on me right at the end here. There we go. Then we have our maps. And these are kind of standard Collins fare for the time. These kind of pale yellow and pale blue maps with very light writing on them. Some pastels. Go around. I'll let you guys take a look at this one. The Journeys of St. Paul. And then Physical Palestine. See what I was, and this also makes me think that, again, this is done after the fact, because you can see how high up this end sheet is glued. So obviously you have to attach this somehow to get the book block attached in here. And that's the best I could do. I would imagine the original Bible probably didn't have a couple of extra blank sheets, which is why you'd want to have a couple of extra blank sheets at the end, because if you ever wanted to rebind it or repair it like this, this glue page would have been attached to just a blank sheet instead of the map here, and you're not able to use the remainder of this map, sadly. But that's it. You just have the end sheet there and the end of your Bible. It's a very unique edition. I like the fact that it's a silver line. You don't see silver lines, please, almost ever for vintage Bibles. It's very rare to have seen a silver line in these older Bible editions. So certainly something very unique. And I think it was 1957 this was produced. So very unique for the time. Let's go ahead and get you some measurements. Comes in at 7 1/8 inches tall. Be a good mid-size by 5 inches. I guess hand size would be right hand size. I keep getting it wrong. So, well, let me finish measurements here. By 1 1/8 inches thick. So the way I think it is, so you have a 9x6, which is the largest, that's like a standard full size. Then you have an 8x5.5, which I think is supposed to be a hand size. No, hand size, full size, hand size, mid-size. It's supposed to be mid-size. So an 8 by 5.5 is a mid-size. Then you have a hand size, which is a 7x5, right? That's what we came out with here. Yeah, 7x5, right, for hand size. Then you have a compact, which is a little smaller, and then you have a pocket. I think those are all the sizes. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please chime in below. But yeah, super interesting. Let me get you guys some measurement on the fonts. So the L in let. A lot of lets. Let thy fountains be dispersed. Comes in at, it's a little on the smaller size, about an 8.5 point font versus Times New Roman. I'll use the M in mine here. Yeah, about an 8.5 point font versus Times New Roman. So about an 8.5 point font all around. 8 point is the cutoff for me. But to be honest, this is so packed full of features. You have all the running headers, you have all the cross references. It's very feature rich for such a small portable edition. I mean, so trim, right? Very small. And I love the fact that whatever they did to this leather, man, I wish the producers would have been doing it at this time to make it so kind of flimsy and floppy. It's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not like an Allen, but it's definitely a much nicer step up versus kind of traditional genuine leathers of this time. They're like rock hard. They're super stiff. Some of them are like inflexible. I have one called a Peerless Bible. And that one is like, forget it. It's like, there's almost no budget. You get to like crack it and like pull it open. It's ridiculous. I'll have to review that one sometime soon. But yeah, Bible Buddies, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, until next time, Bible Buddies, bye.